Hello dear mathematic friends! Today we're studying the laws of radicals. Very important subject in algebra. Let's go please! Well, the first law tells us that if you have x to the power of m over n is equal to the square nth of x to the power of m. That means with this property, with this law, you can convert from exponent to radical and from radical to exponent. Let's see some examples. For instance, a to the power of 1 over 2 is the same of the square root of a. And why? Because this exponent, the numerator, will give us the exponent into the radical, and the denominator will give us what type of radical we have. Another example, 3 to the power of 2 over 5 is equal to the fifth root of 3 to the power of 2. That means the fifth root of 9. The second law, we can say that if we have one root raised to the m power, you can write it as the nth root, but the exponent will be into the root. It is the same. You can put the exponent outside the root or inside the root. For instance, the square root of 3 to the power of 4 is the square root of 3 to the power of 4 into the square root. That means the square root of 3 times 3 times 3 times 3, 81. Another example, the cube root of w to the power of 2 is the cube root of w squared. The third property, if you have one type of root inside of another type of root, you are going to multiply those small numbers, the radicals. So you will have the mnth root of x. For instance, the square root, remember that you are not going to write the 2 if it is a square root. If it is cube root, fourth root, etc., you are going to write the number, but here you don't write the number and you understand that it is a square root. So the square root of the cube root of a is 2 times 3, 6. The sixth root of a. Another example, the square root of the square root of the fourth root of 3 is 2 times 2 times 4. It is the 16th root of 3. The fourth law. the nth root of x, y equals to the nth root of x times the nth root of y. That means if you have inside of a root two factors that obviously are multiplying, you can divide that root in many roots. But pay attention, because if you have a plus or a negative sign between the two terms, you cannot divide in many roots. It is forbidden. Please pay attention. If you have a positive or a negative sign between the two terms, you cannot do that. It is very, very important. So, for instance, the square root of 3w is equal to the square root of 3 times the square root of w. The cube root of ab is equal to the cube root of a times the cube root of b. Finally, the last law of radicals is the nth root of x over y is equal to the nth root of x divided by the nth root of y. For instance, the square root of 3 over 4 is the square root of 3 divided by the square root of 4. That is the square root of 3 divided by 2, because the square root of 4 is 2. Another example, the cube root of y over w is equal to the cube root of y divided by the cube root of w. And those are the properties of radicals, the laws of radicals. Thank you very much, dear friends. See you next time.